friend of mine gave me their old table saw. Woohoo, new tool day. This thing is scary. So when I was Googling all the horrific ways you can die with a table saw, I also came across this video. And the whole time I'm watching it, I've got this stupid little thought in the back of my head. Ruth, you could totally make that. Ruth, you could totally make that. Ruth, you could totally make that. So you might be thinking, Ruth, why are you making a SawStop? You can just go buy one. Well, there's two reasons. The first one being, you cannot retrofit a SawStop to a table saw. I already have the table saw, I just need the bit that makes it safer. And the second thing is the cost. Yeah. So instead of investing some money in this thing, I'm going to invest a ridiculous amount of time and energy in making my table saw safer. So the way a SawStop works is it detects that your finger / sausage / meat of your choice has touched the blade, and then it does stuff to make it safer. So the first thing I need to do is I need to work out a way for my table saw to detect that my finger / sausage / meat of my choice has touched the blade. I had a bit of a Google, I spoke to my friend Sharuk, and I realised that I probably needed some sort of Arduino thing to be the brains of this. So I came across this project that used a coin as a button, and I thought to myself, coin, metal, very similar to a table saw blade. I first did it with a coin, then I transferred it onto my blade, and it worked. It is massively affected when anything electronic comes near it. I put my laptop on the saw, it went mental. So it does need a little bit of calibration. Now the Arduino knows my finger is near the blade, it can now activate stuff. Now, of course, the first thing it's going to do is shut down the power, but as you can see from this clip, the blade takes a long time to stop. That's a lot of your hand / finger going in the saw. So it needs something else to slow it down. Now, my first thought was just a big piece of metal. You drop a piece of metal in the saw, it slows it down, it stops. So that's what I'm going to build first. I mainly use bits of scrap metal for this, hence all the welding, cutting and grinding. I used a linear actuator and a switch to release the piece of metal, cable tied it onto the backing plate, and then when you touch 12 volts, it releases. Then I made the metal to fall into the saw, cut some bits up, welded it, attached it all together. Starting to set up to test this. Got a range of sausages. I think we're going to go with the big sausage, gaffer tape it onto the hand, because in this case, size does matter. Oh my God, it's massive.
I don't think it's that big.
Place the sausage gently in the hand. It's supposed to be a finger, isn't it? So is that better? Maybe that's better.
God.
Look at this. This is engineering. I'm gonna attach it to an even longer thing.
Oh man.
We do like a fancy gaffer tape figure of 8.
Oh, touched it.
Can you smell it?
No, it smells normal to me.
It smells like kids' pies.
It's like you can never smell your own, can you?
Plan is that hopefully when the sausage touches the saw, the power should stop and the hammer should release, the whole thing should stop and the sausage doesn't get too mangled. What do you think? What's your predictions, Colin?
I think that is going to drop down in there and it is going to jump off or just spark the crap out of it.
Let's have a look. Ooh, there is a little bit of damage to it. Maybe that's a one use only, and that wasn't that quick. I think we need something that's a bit quicker than that. Made some improvements. So this time, our piece of metal, instead of going and falling into the saw, is going to slice and hopefully stop the little blades with the piece of metal. So it's not really very practical, it's not got enough power, but it's all right because I've had a brainwave. So as I was watching these bits of metal not really do very much to the saw and thinking I'm definitely going to lose a finger with this, I had an idea. I needed something that was going to stop that blade straight away, something like an electromagnetic clutch. And so I texted my friend James from Machinery Nation. He has loads of electric lawnmowers just laying around, and so he took an electromagnetic clutch off one for me, and I'm going to attach it to a table saw. This seems like a great idea. So I went to my friend Colin's workshop to use his lathe and attach an electromagnetic clutch to a table saw. Look at this beautiful lathe. In fact, after this project, I actually built myself a lathe. Then I made some sparks, had a go at some TIG welding. Might have ruined the saw in the process. This thing's heavy.
It was at this moment that the flywheel forces were plain and obvious to see. This is gonna itself so hard when you push that button.
We're not in the room when we're testing this, right?
I don't want to be in the same county.
And then I started to permanently damage the table saw. I realised that as this was plastic and very unstable, it needed some more metal putting onto it, so cut some more bits out of metal to give it a bit more support. I tried to use as thick a metal as possible so that it would add a little bit more support to this thing. And then just for good measure, I added even more metal. We're about to test again. Got the table saw, got the electromagnetic clutch, got my safety inspector. What do we think?
You've essentially made a flywheel saw, so it's gonna spin up, and then if it stays in one piece, because you know, there's a little bit of, it's not quite in balance, and if it stays in one piece, and then as soon as you engage that clutch, I think it's gonna do somersaults. Just look at it, it's like, crazy thing is even I'm nervous about turning this on.
First table saw test in 3, 2, 1. Is there any mark on it? Look! See? That's what you see in a SawStop video. I did that in my shed.
Sort of work. I mean, it probably would still mangle your hand. It doesn't stop it instantly, but it does it a hell of a lot better than I thought it was gonna.
Old lawnmower, bit of welding. Boom. I am shocked that this worked, but it still genuinely terrifies me. So I think I'm gonna pack it away, save for the good stuff, and carry on using this.